Okay, so I've decided to try and make this a 2 video special so that I can go and sing some songs. So what we're gonna do is the first racism. We're gonna talk about racism in the media, and then the last video we're gonna talk about racism in the real world in general, and while being mixed, all in one video, maybe two. I can bleed them together. Like what I said there, right? Bleed them together. So racism in the media. If you guys know what I look like under this mask, then you should already know that I have been in this acting business for 21 years. Haven't gotten any real work. No one signed me. No one's really paying attention to me here on YouTube. I have 1,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. Or I have 1,000 followers in TikTok and I'm like 5 or 6 followers away from 1,000 in Instagram. You also know that if you're here on YouTube, you know that I have the biggest crush and that I am dreadfully in love. Maybe that's not a good word. I am hopelessly in love with Zeta Zhang. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable saying it behind this mask. I'm not exactly a handsome man under here. Okay, I'm not really that bad either, especially since I once burnt off my face. Okay, we're getting off topic. Now let's get back on topic. So, at 5'3.5", 125 to 130 pounds, it's not hard for people to look over me. The hard thing is for people to actually identify what the hell my race actually is. And I touched on this while I was in my car. Also touched on a lot of things about other things that, isn't relevant right now. But racism in the media is not something unheard of. You can look at TV shows and see how many people are actually multicultural or biracial on TV shows. The number is slim. And also, if they are mixed, they don't get to play mixed often. They either play what their stronger features face. So if I'm to get a character, it's more than likely I'm not going to play somebody black. I'm probably going to play somebody Mexican or Samoan or possibly Native American. I'm not going to play somebody black because my skin tone might not be dark enough for them. And I'm not cutting off my hair for a role. This hair is my attachment to my Native American heritage. So I'm keeping it. That's ironclad. I'm keeping it. Plus, I look like the Avatar bald. You guys see my cat card. If not, there's plenty of videos of me showing you guys what I look like bald. Anyway. Now, the thing with racism in the media. You have maybe soap operas. One soap opera or another may have a fair bulk of people of color. However, those people of color are generally black people. There are very few Asians in soap operas, and Days of Our Lives had one set of Asian family in soap opera and an Asian half-son. And in doing so, the hot, sexy Asian chick that played Haley Chen was killed off. Her mother, or her pretend sister, magically just left Salem and hasn't been back since. Again, racism in media. I'm not saying anything bad about Days of Our Lives because I love Days of Our Lives. I'm just wondering what in the Sam hell happened to Haley Chen's mother. We already know Haley Chen died. Her boyfriend, who was white, went to Africa and never came back. We miss you, JJ. Now, I'm not saying this to despite Days of Our Lives. I'm just poking out that Days of Our Lives also only has one other family of color, and that would be Abe Carver's family. There are very few black people in Salem. And I mean this with the utmost respect, just in case. So if Days is watching this, I do love your show. I would love to actually be on your show as a starting point for my acting career. I know it's never going to happen. But if it did, please make sure that I'm a character who's mixed. Or at least Native American. And then find out that I'm mixed with black. You guys you write the story. You'll know what to do. Anyway, moving on. Then there's Young and the Restless. They had predominant black families in that. Now, I don't have cable, so I don't know any other shows that has other families that exist. I know that Dynasty has somehow managed to stay on CW because I thought they were canceled, but clearly they're not. They have a predominantly cast of black people, and then everything with Tyler Perry, the white families are the minority. Racism in media. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way because, Tyler gave people work. Tyler, I need work. But I would prefer to be a superhero. So if you can open up some doors through Disney and body slam me through it, that would be great. But yeah, racism in media is a thing. there are very few heroes of color that are noted. I mean, they're coming, and with this whole Black Panther thing, which you guys really should recast T'Challa so that T'Challa can still be in the next Black Panther movie, even though it won't be Chadwick Boseman. You can still get a young man of color. And I'd advise you to get his brother, because I'll be 48, and his brother's already 48. And if you watch any of my videos, I still move like a champ. Remember that. Anyway, moving on. Now, the racism in media, it flip-flops. It also depends on where you are. Because I can go to the other side of the world, because I do, or at least I used to, before AZN went way of the West Side, there were light minorities in Asian soap operas. And that kind of sucked, but they were there. But you also have to remember, on that side of the world, very few non-Asians live there. So you expect to see maybe one or two commodities amongst the Asian soap operas that come out of Korea or Japan or China. Most of the ones I watch generally come out of Korea, though, because I don't think China really does a lot of Chinese soap operas. I'm not sure. I'm not going to swear to it. I do not live in China. I am not Chinese. I have mad respect for the Chinese culture and Chinese people. I have mad respect for all Asian cultures, especially since the fact that I do Kung Fu. So, Days, if you need a Kung Fu master, I'm ready and available. Well, in 2 weeks, I'll be ready and available because my classes will be over. Pray that I pass these exams. Anyway, moving on. The thing about racism in the media is that no one really pays attention as long as the media and the stories are good. However, there is not much of family capacities of people of color. And people of non-color, the script attacked me. The script attacked me again. Maybe I should have made it into an airplane and threw it off the planet. Anyway, moving on. There are stories that need to be told. There are stories that could be told. And we can all relate to each other because we're all human. And we all bleed red, like my shoulder here. So before I swing off to go fight crime on another video, I just thought you guys ought to hear this part about racism in media. Now, the next video, I'm going to talk about racism in general, in real life, and being mixed. Okay? We've done a lot of being mixed. That's why that's going to be the end, so I can shorten that thing. Alrighty then. Thanks for watching.